Schaefer,
I'm present.
trustee Morton,
Here.
trustee Alm,
Here.
just missing trustee Grinberg.
Okay. We have no reportable action from closed session. 4.3, approval of agenda. Does anyone have anything to take action on for the consent agenda?
I think we should pull item 5.5
Very well. I have a motion.
and table it until the next meeting.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ready? Okay. So the next thing is the approval of the agenda as it stands with 5.5 tabled until the next meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Section 6, reports, I believe, I heard you're going to take over Remy's spot on that one?
Yeah. This is for Remy Damiani, who couldn't be here tonight. He says, I apologize for not being in attendance. An important family matter arose. I'm very glad to be working with the board again this year and hope to get some more great things done this year. Just as an update, 2 days ago I gave the same report that I gave to the board on the new high school grading system to the high school staff, and I'm going to be working with them to better improve the system as it enters its second year. Heading into this year, I plan to materialize the resources I mentioned for future student board members. I plan on it being an official document the school will have so that future student reps can reference it for a more smooth transition into the position. We'll include what the representative is allowed to do at meetings, the general job of the rep, the responsibilities they have at the school, and explanation of how meetings are conducted, etc. Again, I'm sorry I cannot be in attendance. Hope the meeting goes well. Remy.
Thank you. Next we have Kim.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We've just been busy getting back into the groove of things. Teachers are back this week, and it's been a great week of reconnecting with each other and preparing for the new school year. We have 4 new teachers at the K-8 campus. Sarah Freese is our new 6th grade teacher. Josh Potter is our new 6-8 resource teacher. Jessica Dreyer is our new kindergarten teacher, and Sarah Taylor is our new 1st, 2nd grade teacher. Along with that, we also have a whole slew of new classified staff that is coming in up to today. I've been in the mode of hiring all summer long. One of the things that we're looking forward to that's new on campus is we have a new 6th grade program that is going to be a more modified middle school schedule. So they're going to be on their own schedule, not thrown into the 7th and 8th grade schedule. So we're very excited about that. One of the things that they'll be able to work on is they have time to work on organization, time management, and trying on some of the middle school things. So we're really looking forward to that. They are also, one of the big changes to their schedule is they are going to have lunch with the 4th and 5th graders now. So it'll be 4th, 5th, and 6th together, which will ease some of the pressure on the cafeteria program, but also I think it's more of a developmentally appropriate age group setting. So again, we're looking forward to that. The other last thing I have for you guys is that back to school night announcements. Compshi is set for September 5th at 2:15, and would love to see some of you there. And then here in Mendocino, it's September 11th at 5, and we're still waiting on scheduling Albion. So hope you guys can make it to that.
Do you have tentative numbers?
I almost brought them, but we are changing by the minute, Michael. We had new people in today, and so I decided just to wait. But we have gotten a few new students. I think we're looking at, don't hold me to these numbers, but we're looking at about 19 for kindergarten. For the 1st grade, I'll give you class sizes because 1st and 2nd we combine classes. We have 3 classes, and they are hovering around 20 and 21. 3rd grade is also about 20. And the 4-5s are, we have 3 4-5 classes, and they are 26 and 27. For the middle school class, we have a class of, I think, 42 right now, changing today. And a 7th grade, we have 52 7th graders, I believe, and about 40 8th graders. So,
Any reason why there's that big bulge in 7th grade?
who knows? It's hard to judge. You know, class sizes, they do fluctuate like that around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Thanks.
all right, you're welcome.
Next is 6.22, Jason.
All right, so I have a little visual here. Nothing exciting, just words, but sometimes it's easier to remember things when you see them. So, on to the next page. Oh, before I go into that though, I will say that it was registration day at the high school today, so it was a buzz with activity with freshmen, juniors, or sophomores, juniors, and some seniors registering. And you know, I've always been there in the past, or I haven't always been there, but I've popped in the past just to see what was going on. But this was the first year I did it as a parent, and you get a different view as a parent, for sure. You understand more about what's happening, and I was very impressed with the high school staff up there. It was very organized. It was well thought out. It was clear. We got a registration checklist in the mail, so it really took a lot of question out of what exactly we needed to do and what we needed to have ready for registering at high school. And the advisor did a great job of walking us through the schedule and giving us a little tour of the high school. So it was great to see as a parent. So Tobin and your staff, well done on registration day. Glad I could see it as a parent. Introducing some new staff. I may have forgotten someone, but we have Laura Levitt and May Martin doing high school science. Laura comes to us from Vermont, and May graduated from Mendocino. Sarah Fries and Sarah Taylor, 6th grade and 1st and 2nd grade, and Josh Potter, like Kim mentioned, for resource. And then Megan Smithyman has been hired as the admin assistant at the high school, and she will be starting the day after Labor Day. So those are new staff. Current staff, new jobs. Like Kim mentioned, Jessica Dreyer is in kindergarten. Alex Fossey is now doing 7-8 science. Ryan Olson-Day is doing 7-8 social studies. Penny is moved back up to the high school for special education. Michelle Casivas, her job has changed a little bit as an aide. Lori Brown now comes down to the K-8 school from the high school library, so the high school library position is open. And Erin Placido will be taking over for Susan, and Susan Strom will be retiring at the end of September. So one more meeting. All right, so just looking ahead to 2019-20, I think this is a big year. They're always big years, but I think this is the time where I always say this is going to be the biggest year because we have a lot of things to focus on here. So I'm going to come back to the first one. But we have our continued work towards our facilities bond coming up in March of 2020, and that's on the agenda. It's a recurring item, which I'll talk about later. This is the year where we revise our LCAP and come up with a whole new LCAP, new goals, new measurements. So that's going to be a big deal. Hoping to start that earlier, or as early as possible. We have a boiler replacement with developer fee funds at the high school. Drinking and recycled water projects that are being planned. And it's a big year for negotiations. We have salary and benefits are up for negotiations as well as the entire contract. So, of course, progressing on our strategic plan. So one of the focuses, or one of the things I'm going to focus on during the school year here is communication in our district. I think we could all do a better job of communicating, and that starts with me. Doing a better job of communicating with the board, communicating with teachers, communicating with parents, communicating with the media. And then teachers, I think we can do a better job of communicating with parents, with each other, as colleagues, instead of assuming and sending emails. Let's go meet face to face. Let's walk down the hall and have some face-to-face meetings. Let's inform parents more often about disciplinary issues, also positive events happening in the classroom. And I think, boils right down to students too. Students can always communicate better with each other and with teachers as well. So that's going to be something that I like to focus on, and that'll develop here as the year goes on. But tomorrow's our staff welcome back day, where everybody comes and fills this room, and that's going to be one of the things that I talk about. So I think that's it. Yep.
Okay. All right, next is the bargaining units. Pam, thank you for coming. You got anything?
Yes, hi. So Mimi and I are continuing as co-presidents this year. You saw the new teacher staff. We are all, 100% of our staff is our MTA members, so we're pleased to announce that we once again 100%. We have all, as Kim mentioned, and Tobin would probably mention, that all the teachers are really busy getting ready for the school year, and it's been really nice to have a lot of time in our classrooms and prepare and collaborate with each other. And so we're really excited for a new school year. Thanks.
All right, next will be our board trustee reports. Wynn?
I have nothing.
Nothing?
Nor I.
All right. Okay, next is the parent community. We will hold till 6 on that. So Jason, are you ready?
Thank you. Yes, it is my birthday. I went and played golf for the first time in my life, and I wore red pants. Okay, so this is just an update on the budget since the state budget has been adopted. This should only take just a couple minutes. There are a few significant changes, so can you just go forward for me? So pretty much the only thing that really changed for us in the state budget is STRS and PERS. So the PERS rate increased by 0.4%, and the PERS rate decreased, which is good, by over a whole point. And other very significant changes is we added a new position. That's the first second grade position at the school here. So that's significant. And then also adding 2 new vans that we're adding to our transportation pool. And then I will show how that really affects us. So at the time when I authored this report, we hadn't actually hired the position yet, so 60,000 is plugged in there. It's pretty close to that. And then you can see how it affects the benefits. So the STRS rate went up. That primarily went up so much because of the new position. PERS was not affected. This is just from the state budget, and that went down, so that's the effect there. And then you can see the rest of the rates. Those are increased based off of that new position. Another small one is our general liability insurance did go up. So one of the things I'm going to be doing this year is looking at other providers and potentially seeing if we can find a savings there. And then the 2 vans comes to about 60,000. And then if you go forward one more, this basically has a net effect of on our general fund of 156,787 negative. And that's it. That's all I have. I mean, those are significant changes. So Jason and I will continue to work together to see how we can encroach less on the general fund. So, any questions? It would have gone up by 0.4, yeah.
What happened between the budget, the May revised, had a bunch of state money only going to STRS, and that's what we calculated the budget rate. But when it was finally adopted, they took that pie of money and divided it in half. So half of it went to pay down the STRS debt, and half of it went down to pay the PERS debt. So it had the effect of raising the price of STRS.
Got it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
next item is an update on the facilities bond. We are still plugging along with the anticipation of going out for a facilities bond for mainly the high school, but possibly some other buildings, but we're still discussing that for March of 2020. So Mark Petrocchi from QKA has been working with Otto Rice, our maintenance supervisor, over the summer to do a facilities assessment. And that's been, I think, completed. And we have a meeting scheduled for mid-September to have one more master, we haven't scheduled it yet, but we're in the process for our master planning facilities committee. And then there will be a meeting for community input and kind of a presentation from Mark. And then he is hoping to have the report to the board definitely by the November meeting, if not by the October meeting. Because it needs to be, if we do go forth, it needs to be approved by the board resolution in November in order to get it on the ballot for March of 2020. So, I don't know, Otto, not to put you on the spot, but if you have anything to add about the facilities assessment, or?
That was pretty thorough. They look pretty like regular folks.
Is there a ballpark figure that you're looking at? You know, is it gonna be 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 50 million? You know,
Keep going. No, I'm just no, we're eligible to receive, we're eligible for 26 million.
26?
Yeah, about 26 million. So, you know, we'll get the report and see what the cost estimate is, and if we need to take some things out of the project or what, we'll see.
Okay. All right, next is 8.3. Jason, would you elaborate on 8.3, adoption of declaration of need for fully qualified educators?
Yeah, so this is an annual declaration we make in the anticipation of not being able to fill some positions in the district with teachers with the correct credential or certification, which could include the English learner authorization or some multiple subject and single subject. So we put a conservative number of 4 on there. We did put for this year. We have hired a couple of teachers who aren't fully credentialed yet. They're hired as interns. Oh, just one actually, but another one is working on their license from another state. So in the event that we can't find teachers, this is what we have to do in order to be able to hire them. And it does say that we did a search, and we did everything we could to hire a credentialed teacher. We didn't find one, so we hired one as an intern.
Okay. All right, so that's an action item.
And these interns eventually do get a credential?
Right.
In all cases, right?
Yep, they have to. Yep.
Right.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, it's an action item. Does anybody have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the declaration of need.
Second. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next thing is consideration of board policy, administrative regulation, exhibits as a first reading, education for homeless children.
All right, so this is a first reading. This was information only in June. We have never had a policy for education for homeless children. So this is the recommended CSBA version. We have a homeless liaison here in the district. Andrea Arenas is our homeless liaison. So she works with families who are homeless and connects them with resources, connects them with school and community resources. So each year we're supposed to declare or notify the state, or the federal program actually, if we have a policy. And Jason brought that to my attention again this year, and for some reason we hadn't done it for many years, but here we go. This is a new policy that one, we have to have, but also we should have. So.
Okay. Any comments on it?
I think, just again, that the definition of homeless, if you look at the first definition, students who are sharing the housing of other persons due to loss of housing, economic hardship, or similar reason. This includes a lot of people who we would not perhaps automatically think of homeless, but if they're doubling up with relatives, or they're living with friends, and they are considered under this regulation as homeless students. And I think, you know, if we don't see people under bridges, we think that maybe we don't have any homeless students, but that's really not the yardstick that we're using.
Is there a way of tracking this on a yearly basis, getting some sort of meaningful number?
Sure, I can get that. I can bring that.
Making an annual report from
Sure.
the social worker or something?
Yep.
Did the policy committee have a chance to look at these?
So the policy committee, we didn't meet, but they were emailed out.
I mean, I don't see any reason why not to go forward with them. I just wondered if they had any insights.
No, I don't think I didn't have anything that I thought she needed to change.
Yeah, I mean, these things are full of so much legal reference, it would be beyond me to really give a strong changes or.
Well, sometimes, you know, that I know when I first came on the board that if it didn't make common sense, you'd want to know why it didn't make common sense. So hopefully we don't commit ourselves to having a policy that we don't understand. You know. But I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve this as a first reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next thing is 8.5, Board Policies Administrative Regulations. We have 4 here for information only. And,
So, you know, most of them are updates, well, not most of them, bullying, there's a update from CSBA, professional standards, which I'm not sure, when was the last professional standard? That one was a very old one, the professional standards. Well over 10 years old, but that was 2008, yeah, was the last one, it's very, very short. So, and then, visitors, also that was extremely old and been updated, so I can bring exact changes to the next meeting for information, or for the first reading.
Didn't we just do bullying too?
We did, but there was a new law passed in late 2018.
okay, anything else on that?
Nope.
Okay. Well, it's not 6 o'clock yet. Future agenda items, does anybody have any changes to make to that? Addition? I think at our last meeting, Mark, you were wanting to make sure that we had climate change.
Yeah, I would like us to seriously address that issue in the district. Part of it's just a question on my part about what are we doing now already. I'm not interested in scaring kindergartners, but I feel like if we're preparing students for their future, I'm at a point where I feel like it's more important than the 3 R's. And I'd like us to look at it in terms of curriculum, probably particularly high school, but you know, I don't have a lot of answers, but I think that it needs to come up to the top. And these kids are going to be graduating into a world where they're going to have to deal with this, you know, practically and psychologically, and I want to know that we're doing our best to prepare them. And I'm not saying we're not, I don't know, but I think we need to address it.
So we did add that to our kind of internal board calendar, but we should probably put that on future agenda items so it rises to the top every time. And we can maybe shoot for mid-year, once we get settled and we can talk with the teachers. Okay.
Okay. So do we go ahead and allow people to speak who are here? Is that the proper procedure here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can probably, I mean, unless we want to sit around for 30 minutes, we can probably do the.
I think that's reasonable. Okay, so does anyone have anything that they'd like to bring up for the parent community comment?
I'll always, you know that, I'll always.
All
I
right.
think I let the board down by not coming to this meeting reporting that I won the Mega Millions for the Powerball jackpot, but
We
the
wouldn't have to
reason
go
I
out for a
asked,
bond.
the reason I asked the superintendent specifically for the bond amount was because I only play Powerball or Mega Millions when it's over $100 million. It's currently not, so I haven't been playing, but I just let you know, I am very optimistic of winning shortly, in the very near future, as one of my fellow Granite Staters back in New Hampshire won the $168 million
Nice.
jackpot in July. Ergo, expatriate on the West Coast, it's setting up to it's gonna happen. So anyway, we have until March, we'll be playing religiously when it hits 100 million, so I expect to be bringing good news in the very, very near future. That's all I have to say.
That's good enough for me. All right. Well, what's the proper protocol for finishing up if we haven't met the 6 p.m. time frame?
Well, I think we could go into a recess until 6 o'clock.
Is that the way we do it?
Probably be
Okay.
the most honest thing to do, you know,
Okay.
as opposed to just adjourn and then people came at 6 thinking
Okay.
they could speak.
So we'll do that. We'll go to a recess, and thank you all for coming.
Yeah, that is, I'm telling you right now, mine.